It's Tuesday, September 11. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is deploying additional police to alleviate the traffic congestion across sections of the corporate area, especially in 3 Miles area. 3 Miles was closed by the National Works Agency as part of major road construction works, and it's understood that the closure should be for about 8 months. According to the police, the issues affecting the alternative routes are as a result of approximately 70,000 vehicles being diverted from the Portia Simpson Miller Square onto smaller minor roads. They said that Olympic Way, Bay Farm Road and Waltham Park Road, as well as several roads leading off, have been inundated with motor vehicles, which has resulted in significant delays. The police said the problem is being further compounded by unruly motorists who continue to ignore the road code and the instructions of traffic personnel. They say motorists are to expect delays and are being urged to obey instructions of police personnel. The Ministry of Labour has again intervened in the dispute between Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, and the National Workers Union, the NWU. The entities have been at odds since the JPS announced that it will discontinue the 50% discount on electricity for its pensioners. The new rules took effect in July. NWU General Secretary Granville Valentine said the Ministry of Labour invited the parties to a meeting Monday afternoon at 2 o'clock. The National Road Safety Council, the NRSC, is raising concern about the increase in the number of children who have died on the nation's roads. The number of child road fatalities this year, between January 1 and September 5, has surpassed the figure for the corresponding period last year. 17 children have died as a result of vehicular crashes or accidents so far this year. Last year, for the reported period, child fatalities stood at 13. The NRSC says those who died were mostly pedestrians, passengers in private vehicles and pillion passengers. The council is urging motorists to reduce their speed, particularly in school zones. Since the start of the year, there have been 232 road fatalities. Minister of Industry and Agriculture Order Shaw wants to link small ganja farmers with large processors who have the ability to convert ganja into a range of medicinal products. While addressing a Youth in Agriculture public forum at Knox Community College in Manchester on Friday, Minister Shaw said the cooperative link will then link with the large processors within the pharmaceutical industry who would extract the oil from the ganja and export it in barrels to be used as raw material for medicinal uses. The Industry and Agriculture Minister pointed out that the ganja business is not just for the wealthy who have the capital to do it. He wants to build a model in Jamaica with opportunities for many farmers. The Meteorological Service of Jamaica says a trough is expected to linger across Jamaica over the next few days. According to forecasters, this morning should be partly cloudy, while scattered showers are expected, as well as isolated thunderstorms across mainly sections of central and western parishes this afternoon. Tonight should be fair. And in our hurricane forecast, we're looking at Hurricane Isaac, which is currently pushing through the open tropical Atlantic Ocean, but will likely bring heavy rain and damaging winds to parts of the Lesser Antilles later this week. It's steered westward by high pressure to the north. Isaac is forecast to approach the Lesser Antilles by Thursday going into Friday. Isaac's intensity forecast is uncertain due to its small size, but some strengthening is possible into midweek. Later this week, wind shear is expected to increase, which would then trigger some weakening before the system arrives in the Caribbean. Isaac is expected to approach the Lesser Antilles on Thursday as a strong tropical storm or possibly a Category 1 hurricane. The US dollar ended trading yesterday at Jamaican $137.06, down by 20 cents, according to the Bank of Jamaica's daily foreign exchange trading summary. Meanwhile, the Canadian dollar ended trading at $104.83, up from $104.15, while the pound sterling ended trading at $178.28, up from $177.67. In regional news, the United States government has issued a security alert for American citizens in Belize after authorities declared a state of emergency in 2 gang-plagued areas southside Belize City. Yesterday, the U.S. State Department informed citizens of checkpoints throughout the south side and urged them to exercise increased caution in the area, avoid crowds, keep a low profile, be aware of their surroundings, be vigilant when visiting banks or ATMs, and use caution when walking or driving at night. Minister of National Security John Saldivar announced that the state of emergency, declared through statutory instruments signed by the Governor General on Tuesday, was being implemented for an initial 30-day period to tackle the escalation of gun violence in the area, but said it could be extended.
Prior to last week's murder spike on Southside Belize City, only 7 murders had been recorded on Southside the previous 3 months, compared to almost double that amount in the same 3-month period of 2017. We had been making marked progress in Belize City as far as murders were concerned. The feuding between and among gangs seemed to have subsided, except for 2 rival gangs who had been responsible for most of the shootings in the last few months. The other gangs had remained relatively calm. Then, with the 5 gang-related murders over this one weekend, the relative calm came under threat because of feuding between the same 2 gangs. There was the distinct possibility of an outright war between these 2 gangs, and we just would not have it again, and especially not during a time when multitudes would be out on the street merrymaking. The declaration of a public emergency in the 2 specified areas gives the police wide-reaching powers with respect to incarcerating individuals deemed to be a public threat. It is the intention of the police to only use these powers to achieve one goal, and that is to incarcerate for as long as is legally possible all the criminal gang elements from the specified areas who make criminal behavior their way of life, who prey upon innocent citizens and their properties, and who engage in violence against each other, which also puts innocent persons in harm's way. In the first instance, the declaration also allows the police to achieve this aim for 30 days only, and the police will defend in court all challenges for the release of these individuals during this first phase.
In sports, we go to athletics as Jamaica has failed in its bid to host the 2019 IAAF World Relays, and Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association President Dr. Warren Blake has expressed disappointment. Blake said the government was not able to provide written financial backing to the IAAF despite the world governing body extending the period given for the country to provide the document. Blake is reported as saying, quote, "The decision was for Jamaica to say we could afford to host the event, and we needed the government to say they could come up with the financial backing," end quote. Jamaica became the preferred destination to host the event after the Bahamas, which hosted the first 3 editions of the relays, relinquished their hosting right, saying that it had become a financial strain. It is reported that it would have cost the country over $5 million to host the relays, as major renovation would have to be done to the National Stadium. According to Blake, the IAAF is now in the process of seeking another host. And that's it for the news right here on PBCJ. I'm Simone Absalom. Pleasant viewing.